radar and going away from the radar. So that's where we're getting that broad rotation. I haven't had any new information coming out. Okay, so I do have, just as I'm saying that, we got some new information, an update on the tornado warning for Jackson County. A tornado warning remains in effect until 12:30, so they're not going to expire it. They're still thinking that area that we just circled there, where the rotation is still strong enough to potentially produce a tornado. So rotation associated with the tornado warning was located over Van Cleve, and now we're just looking at that radar information. We know that that rotation has just moved just to the southeast of Van Cleve now, or 8 miles west of Escatawpa, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Some weakening has occurred, which is what we're seeing on the radar, which we've touched on that a little bit. However, the threat remains for another storm over Mississippi Sound with a possible waterspout moves onshore just west of Goche. So now I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit. I'm going to clear what we have here. So now they're mentioning Goche now for the potential for a possible waterspout moving onshore, and then that would potentially provide, or at least warrants the tornado warning continuing across the area. So again, we're still watching the area just southeast of Van Cleve now for that rotation. And here we go. Here's Escatawpa. Here's Pascagoula. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Here's Helena and up towards Big Point. All these areas from Escatawpa up Highway 63, up 63 into Big Point and Helena, all those locations still under the tornado warning until 12:30. So that will continue, and we're still seeing those areas on the radar. I'll zoom back in. I know this looks a little scatterbrained here, but the area that we're concerned about is right here over, just now moving out of Van Cleve, just southeast of Van Cleve. That's the area of main rotation that we're concerned about, and that's going to eventually head east and northeast towards Highway 63, towards Three Rivers, Helena, and up towards Big Point as well. Leslie, you have some new information.
Yeah, we're still watching out for those threats in that area of Van Cleve as well as the Hickory Hills, well, north of Hickory Hills, I should say, area. That's where Eric circled that rotation for that thunderstorm, and it continues to move from west to east there. As far as new information goes, well, we do have a new radar scan that you just saw there with us. So as we kind of reevaluate what's going on here, here's what we know now. The tornado, or possible tornado, is now farther away from Van Cleve. And I think that Eric is going to wind up circling exactly where I'm looking at. I would put it maybe a little bit farther to the northwest, but it's really splitting hairs. And again, one issue that we mentioned earlier about that this radar is very cluttered. To have an entire red section like this, that's not realistic. To have all this purple in here, that's telling us that the data is becoming cluttered. So just because we're not seeing a very convincing tornado signature on TV here does not mean that it's not actually happening in the real world, and there could be more of a threat than what we may know right now on the ground in Jackson County. So that's why we're continuing to keep you alert on this for the next several minutes here. That tornado warning in Jackson County not expiring until 12:30. You can see the areas that are affected. Have they extended this farther east? Because it almost looks like it's into Escatawpa. Now, maybe that had already been that way, but
that has already been. They've just updated. They've canceled the other warning that was in effect for northwestern portions of Jackson County. So now the only tornado warning in effect is the one where you see that is shaded in red.
Okay, I understand. So that'll mainly be for just outside of Pascagoula. Pascagoula not in the warned area. Escatawpa basically close enough to be paying close attention right now. Moss Point obviously just between those two and outside of the warned area, but you also want to pay close attention. I can see that notch right there, just near the Hickory Hills area now, apparently, and that is the latest radar interpretation of that. So that's what we'll be watching. That's where a tornado likes to sit in a thunderstorm like this. When we see that little curvature right there, it'll sit right at the base of that curve in the storm cell. So we're watching that continuing to move on to the east and northeast, possibly by Coaltown around 12 p.m. And that will be crossing, obviously, Highway 60. I'm going to mess this up. Which highway is that? 63. I was right. Highway 63, and just over near Helena, excuse me. So that will be there by within the next 30 minutes if it continues moving at its current speed. So you guys in those areas, please make sure that you are paying close attention to this, and also that you have your safe spot ready so that you can. I mean, if you're in the warned area, you should already be there. So that's already over. But if you are not in the warned area, it's time to pay close attention if you are in Moss Point or Escatawpa, because there's not necessarily a guarantee that the storm will continue moving due east. It could shift northeast or shift southeast. Big Point under the warning, but you guys are really far out there. Certainly be in your safe spot, but you are far, far away from the threat, if there is a threat right now. And now Van Cleve, it does look like if you are inside of Van Cleve, you're very close to the outside of that warning now. So for you guys in Van Cleve, I'm not going to say the threat is completely over. There's